Hi, this is Dan Mullenkamp, and I'm back with a short explanation, this time of the Ohio Auto Insurance Policy. First, we'll start out with the standard coverages. The most important coverage on the policy is liability insurance. It might look a couple of different ways. The most common way is called a split limit. It'll show something like what I'm showing on the screen there, $250,000 each person, $500,000 each accident, and $100,000 property damage. That means you're in an accident, your fault. If somebody else is injured, the most the company will pay is $250,000 for any one person's injuries or their life. And the most they'll pay for any one accident, regardless how many people are injured, is $500,000. And then there's $100,000 for property damage. That's things like their car or house or whatever else it is you've damaged. The other common way is called a combined single limit. It says you've had an accident, here's $500,000. We're going to divide it up any way we need to take care of the situation. Now those numbers don't have to be the numbers I'm showing you there. The state only requires $12,500 each person, $25,000 each accident. Now I consider that pretty socially irresponsible because you can't pay too many doctor's bills with $12,500. But it can be anywhere in between that and other limits you haven't even thought of. So there's a lot of variability there. That's why you need to talk to a good agent you trust, like Preferred Insurance Center. The next thing is uninsured motorist limit. It covers you if you're in an accident, you're injured, it's the other guy's fault, but he doesn't have any insurance. The limits are exactly like the liability and work exactly like it, except it's for you instead of the other guy. Underinsured motorist. That covers you if you're in an accident. The other guy has insurance, but he has less than you have. Let's say he's got $25,000 insurance and you have $500,000 and you have $400,000 worth of bills. His policy is going to pay $25,000. Your policy is going to pay $375,000. In a way, you're paying for the insurance the other guy should have had. Medical payments. That covers you or any passenger in your car for medical bills resulting from an accident, and it doesn't really matter who's at fault. We're just going to pay things. It's designed to cover things like deductibles and co-payments. It's usually a fairly low amount, like $5,000. The next coverage is comprehensive, or a lot of policies call it other than collision. Means your car is damaged, and maybe it was a deer, maybe it was hail, maybe it was theft. It wasn't a collision. There's usually a deductible. Could be $100, could be $1,000. The higher the deductible, the lower your premium, but you have to pay that deductible before the company fixes your car. Next coverage, of course, would be collision then, and that's exactly what it sounds like. You collide with something. We're going to fix your car, and again, there's a deductible. $500 should probably be the minimum on a collision deductible. A lot of people are going to $1,000 now. It depends on the value of the car, and who's driving it, and things like that, whether that's worth it or not. Rental reimbursement. That means your car, you can't drive it because it's been in an accident. It has to be because of a covered loss. We'll pay to have you rent another car to replace it. It usually has a daily limit, like $20 or $30, and then a total overall limit, like maybe $600 or $900, something like that. Doesn't pay mileage, those types of things, because you would have had wear and tear on your other car. It pays the rental charge because your car can't be driven because it's been in an accident. And road trouble service, or some companies call it towing and labor, there's some other names for it. But basically it means you broke down aside the road and you needed to call somebody to either tow you or get you some help. It's usually written in a $50 or $100 limit. Personally, not a big fan of that coverage. If you have AAA, you don't need it, and even then, it doesn't happen all that often. You know, maybe you ought to consider paying that $50 or $100 out of your pocket. Alright, now there's a few coverages that you ought to consider that aren't on the normal policy. The first one is a personal umbrella. Big accidents happen all the time. Let's say you're in one of those really bad accidents. Somebody is injured, they can't walk, or there's somebody dead. They're suing for $1 million and you don't have $1 million coverage. That ruins you financially. A personal umbrella can take care of that. It's pretty low cost. It can be as low as $100. It's usually more like between $150 and $250, and you can get $1 million coverage, 2 million, 3 million. I've got a client that's got 5 million. So it depends how much you need. But it's an important coverage. It's not necessarily for everybody, but if you've got some assets to protect, you've got to consider a personal umbrella. And life insurance. Maybe you're the person who dies in the accident. The other person doesn't have any insurance, whatever it may be. Maybe it was your fault. Life insurance, most people don't have anywhere near enough. Take your income times 10. That's probably about the amount you ought to have. Do you have that much life insurance? Think of it this way. If you were in an accident and you died, you'd be retired forever. How much money would you have to win in the lottery to retire forever? Maybe that's the amount of insurance you ought to have. We're life insurance experts. We can help you out on that. And disability insurance. Who's going to pay your bills if you're disabled? Are you sure you'll qualify for Social Security? It's pretty tough to qualify for. Even then, would it be anywhere near enough? Disability is more likely to happen to you than have a house fire. So think about it. You're interested? Give us a call. Number's in the upper right-hand corner. Or send us an email, fill out the form on the right, let us know. We can help you out with these things. And again, this is Dan Mullenkamp from Preferred Insurance Center. Those are the coverages on the personal auto policy and a few other things you ought to consider. Thank you.